The historic west side of Las Vegas, an area that is often forgotten, but the neighborhood, a pivotal part of our city's history.
It was also the heart of the civil rights movement here locally. One moment decades ago became a catalyst for change.
8 News Now anchor Sasha Loftus has more on the Westside Uprising of 1969.
It introduces a new way to understand the city and its heritage and the culture.
It's a part of Las Vegas many have seen, but few truly know. The historic West Side still tells so many stories, mainly of its predominantly black population.
What we still see is that the West Side, as an area, one of the more disenfranchised areas of the city.
UNLV Associate Professor Tyler Perry speaking on that disenfranchisement and the tensions that boiled over in his presentation of the Uprising of 1969.
It was a protest largely against poverty and police brutality that continued to plague the area.
The anger behind that protest built for decades. In the 1940s and 50s, when members of the black community were confined to these 40 blocks.
It was a place that represented the stark segregation that existed in Las Vegas, to where the black community could only really live in one area of town.
In 1960, desegregation lifted legal restrictions, but people of color were still marginalized.
People were largely underemployed, particularly young men within the area.
Soon the tides would turn. In October of 1969, 2 black men were arrested under what many called false pretenses. This moment, the catalyst for true change.
At that point, young people in the community just rose up against the police state.
Protests that became riots as people here demanded attention from their leaders. 200 were arrested, 2 others killed, and hundreds more hurt.
If people want to think about the civil rights movement in Vegas, you can't do that unless you actually focus on the West Side.
Fast forward to today. These stories aren't just rich with culture, but pivotal to understanding current complications.
But what we still see is that the West Side, as an area, one of the more disenfranchised areas of the city, still represents that original problem in Las Vegas.
A problem Perry hopes to bring to the forefront for many years to come. Sasha Loftus, 8 News Now.
The Moulin Rouge Hotel and Casino also made its mark on the historic West Side in the 1950s as the first desegregated property in Las Vegas. Now be sure to tune in Channel 8 next Saturday, February 15th for our special honoring Black history. It starts that special at 6:30 p.m.